We have a question from Daniel. What a lovely name. I work out between 3 to 4 times a week at the gym, park bench or Jim Wendler style. Jim Wendler 531. Overhead squat, bench press, deadlift, and back squat. Would love to kickstart my metabolism for health and aesthetic reasons, as well as improving my work capacity. Please bear in mind that I'm 42 years old and he's what I call a quadrant 3 athlete, and haven't done a lot of walking, jogging, or sprinting. Maybe some introduction to such activities would have some value in terms of injury avoidance. The walking will, and I think the sprinting will. It's that middle one, the jogging, that I think will actually add to your problems. Just say. Usually, since I'm detrained in terms of running, sprinting, such makes me suffer from plantar fasciitis. Ouch. And that does hurt. I feel like you walk around with a nail in your shoe. And I would love to avoid such by approaching this venture in a reasonable way. His series of questions. How would you approach 1 or 2 additional hill sprint sessions? What would be a reasonable warm-up routine? Funny we didn't. Would you approach the sprints similar to loaded carries, matrix yours? Some days 2 to 3 longer ones, some days 8 to 10 shorter ones. And many thanks and best regards from Berlin. From Berlin, okay. When it comes to hill sprints, when I first started coaching the hill sprints, I was a much tougher coach. But what I picked up over time, Daniel, and I think this is the key, it's the quality of the hill sprints I want you to focus on. I'd much rather you do 2 real, where you're just really going after it up the hill, and take your time walking down, and then another one. And by the way, one can be a good workout too if you have enough hill. 1, 2, or 3 loops. In the beginning, keep it at that. You're asking about warm-ups. The odd thing about hill sprints is you don't need a ton of warm-ups. I mean, I've never had an athlete get hurt sprinting up a hill because it's just very natural, and the hill makes you have excellent technique. Well, I wouldn't mind on this warm-up thing that maybe you walk, and here's an idea, walk a little bit before, up to 10 minutes, don't go crazy, and then maybe walk up and down the workout first for the hills. So if you're going to do 3 50-meter hill sprints, walk up and down 3 times just to get everything kind of lubricated. Really never had any injuries, but that could be a nice little warm-up. And you also get additional benefits of that extra cardio. I live in a place called Utah, which is very mountainous, and when people first come here, even experienced hikers are like, oh boy, because all Utah hikes go like this, and then you come down. It's out my window, it is the Rocky Mountains. So out my window it goes like this, and then like this. And to get to the top of that hill, you have to go that way, which is logical, but there's not a lot of meandering. I like this idea. You note here too, on some days doing the shorter, 8 to 10, that's not a bad idea if you're thinking of 20-meter sprints. And if you are doing 20-meter sprints, maybe play around with the intensity. Let's say you're doing 8. 1 or 2 or 3 of them in those 8 should be all out. 1 or 2 in that should be very just get to the top. Remember, even if you go slow up a hill, you're still going up a hill. So play around with the intensities. I always try to finish on the last ones because it's the traditional throwing, last throw, best throw. Always try to finish with your best one at the end. Daniel, that's a good question. And good luck. Good luck, and tell me what you figure out.